Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Green Lantern Talks About. I am your host, Green Lantern, and I've been waiting to do this episode since the first trailer for this movie dropped. And if you'd be so kind, please leave a comment below telling me what your favorite part of this movie is. But before we get into it, I want to thank Blacklight.com for providing the opportunity for me, yes, little old me, to become an affiliate. Visit blacklight.com. That's BLACKLYTE.com for your gaming chair needs. Be sure to use the code Green Lantern Gaming, all one word, at checkout to save 10% off your purchase. Thank you, Blacklight. And now let's get into today's episode. I'm sure you've either seen the movie or you've heard someone talk about the movie, Him. Well, today's episode is going to be my thoughts on why Cade, Cameron Cade, is a monster and the villain of the movie. I wish I could say this would be a spoilers free episode, but I can't, so consider this to be your spoilers warning. I'm going to briefly discuss why I think Cameron Cade was not GOAT worthy and is in fact the villain all along. During the third act of the movie, Cam has come to the realization that things aren't as he had hoped they would be while working out with his idol Isaiah White, which, by the way, is probably some of Marlon Wayans' best work, if I'm being honest. Um, but there's some strange and unbecoming activities happening at the compound and the surrounding events. All of this comes to a head when Cam and Isaiah need to fight to the death. That's right, they need to fight to the death. But during that fight scene, Cam picks up a helmet, and before hitting Isaiah repeatedly, a light comes out of the helmet. And I think this light is supposed to be representative of righteousness, do the right thing, that sort of thing. Uh, but Cam never really tries to talk Isaiah down, right? I think that the light was supposed to like maybe catch Cam's attention and be like, hey, look, there might be another way. And Cam just begins to pummel Isaiah with the helmet, right? Now, granted, considering the way that the movie was going, Isaiah wasn't going to be listening to anything that Cam had to say, but Cam, if he is indeed a hero, should at least try to talk Isaiah down. So that's point one. He doesn't try to talk Isaiah down when he has the opportunity to. So after he beats Isaiah to a pulp and then walks out to where the ownership group is at, this is a mock football field. Ownership group is there. They're wearing, goat masks and things like that. It's a weird setup. But at any rate, so the ownership is there. And instead of trying to negotiate a situation where, hey, what I went through, I don't want the person after me to go through. So can we negotiate how this works? Um, he doesn't do that, right? Like maybe what we saw was what Isaiah felt like the person to succeed him should have gone through. And Cade doesn't do any of that, right? Like he asked the question, what if I don't sign? And the owner bluntly states, we'll kill your family if you don't sign. But they had already killed his father earlier in the movie. So, but instead of Cade just saying, hey, look, you've already killed my dad, just leave the rest of my family alone. I don't want this, choose someone else. They were like, no, there's none of that. Cade just starts killing people. He goes full on John Wick and kills everyone on the scene except for his agent, right? His agent gets his in the end, and that's a video for another day, right? But now the situation is again why I feel that Kate is a villain is because his going there wasn't a secret. Earlier in the movie, when he was arriving to the compound, there's a bunch of fanatics of Isaiah White's, just like a mile and a half off of the compound. So they know that Cade was coming. Other players are brought in to work out. They seen Cade at the compound. And what do you think is going to happen when the ownership group for a franchise doesn't show up anywhere, like the entire ownership group, or when Isaiah White doesn't show up for, preseason practices and stuff like that. Uh, his wife, Isaiah's wife, had a pretty solid uh, social media following. What's going to happen when she doesn't post for a while? People are going to start getting curious. And they're going to, how the internet works. They're going to tie all of this to, oh, yeah, Cam went to go work out with dude about this date, and nobody's seen them since. So Cade got to be on the run for the rest of his life? That sounds pretty villainous to me. But what do I know, right? I'm just a dude who likes to talk about movies and thought I'd share my thoughts with, complete strangers. So if you like this episode, if you picking up what I'm putting down, be sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, notification bell, so that you'll be notified when I drop another video. Again, tell me what you liked about the movie in the comments. And as always, I'm Green Lantern, and you've been awesome.